The MMA world has officially gone off the rails. Jon Jones just rode into an event on a horse wearing an eye patch, a direct shot at Tom Aspinall's controversial fight stoppage. Meanwhile, Alex Pereira has gone nuclear, leaking private DMs to shut down Joaquin Buckley, and Khamzat Chimaev finds himself under fire from UFC legend Glover Teixeira. Leaks, insults, and trolling, all unfolding within days. From champions taking business decisions to legends calling each other out, this isn't just MMA news, it's a full-blown combat circus. The biggest names are trading shots, not just in the cage, but across social media, podcasts, and press events. This week, respect dies, ego wins, and chaos takes center stage. Like, share, and subscribe, let's break this madness down. The fire kicked off when UFC legend Glover Teixeira broke his silence about Khamzat Chimaev, and his words hit harder than a left hook. Speaking on the Glory Days podcast, Glover didn't hold back. He praised Chimaev's raw power, charisma, and warrior mentality, but then dropped a truth bomb. He revealed that Khamzat often spars with lower-level partners, fighters nowhere near his skill set. For a veteran like Glover, that was a red flag. In his eyes, a champion shouldn't just dominate, he should challenge himself daily. The MMA world erupted. Some fans defended Khamzat, saying he needs easy rounds while cutting weight or rehabbing. Others sided with Glover, arguing that true legends sharpen their skills against equals, not novices. And coming from a former light heavyweight champion known for grinding in the gym, Glover's critique carried real weight. Still, he gave Khamzat credit for walking the talk, saying he backs it up every time he steps inside the octagon. It was both respect and reality check rolled into one. The message was clear: talent alone doesn't make greatness, your training habits do. But while Glover's comments sparked debate, another storm was already brewing. Across the MMA universe, a two-division powerhouse was about to step into the drama, and he had receipts. Enter Alex Pereira, the man who went from kickboxing royalty to UFC superstardom. Out of nowhere, Pereira resurfaced old DMs with Joaquin Buckley, and fans couldn't believe what they saw. It all started back in early 2022, when Buckley's opponent, Abdul Razak Al Hassan, pulled out of a fight. Buckley begged for a replacement and was offered Pereira. Hungry for a challenge, he said yes, but soon after, the fight vanished. The reason? Pereira's camp reportedly needed more time to prepare. Fast forward to now, and Pereira decided to set the record straight. He leaked their private messages, showing Buckley trying to stir hype while Pereira coolly replied, "You were the first to run. Go back to the end of the line." The post exploded. Fans called it a masterclass in dominance, not inside the cage, but in digital warfare. Buckley's response? Silence. Pereira's timing was flawless, right after his light heavyweight rise and talk of a potential move to heavyweight. The leak wasn't random, it was a power move. It reminded everyone that Pereira doesn't just win fights, he controls narratives. And as the dust settled, the focus shifted again, from social media to the heart of the fight world, where injured warriors, desperate comebacks, and career-changing announcements were about to shake the UFC's core. As Pereira's DMs lit up social media, the rest of the fight world was in pure chaos. Every corner of the UFC seemed to have its own headline: injuries, comebacks, and unexpected exits. One of the biggest stories came from Larissa Pacheco, the former PFL double champion, who shocked fans after being released despite dominating her division. Her emotional message to Dana White was raw and unapologetic. She said she's ready and willing to return to the UFC, older, stronger, and more disciplined. It wasn't just a plea for a contract, it was a challenge to prove herself on the biggest stage again. Meanwhile, fight schedules were being shuffled behind the scenes, cards moving, opponents changing, matchups collapsing overnight. Fighters like Lana Santos and Melissa Gatto had their bouts rescheduled, while others quietly faded from the lineup. The chaos exposed a brutal truth: in the UFC, momentum is everything. One injury, one phone call, and a fighter's career trajectory can flip overnight. But amidst the uncertainty, one story stood out: a heavyweight who refused to quit even when his body broke down. From callouts to contract confusion, his story became the symbol of a fighter's unbreakable drive. That fighter was Hamdi Abdelwahab, the Olympic wrestler turned UFC powerhouse. Weeks after his win at UFC 321, rumors exploded that he'd been cut from the roster. But Hamdi broke his silence, revealing the truth: he wasn't fired, his contract had simply expired. And what fans didn't know made his performance even more remarkable: 5 weeks before the fight, he tore his pectoral muscle and fractured his hand during the bout. Yet, he never pulled out. His statement on Instagram wasn't a complaint, it was a reminder of what fighters risk for one more shot at glory. While others chase titles, some just fight to stay visible. Hamdi's resilience drew quiet respect from fans and fighters alike. In a world where champions leak messages for clout, Hamdi reminded everyone of the sport's real soul: grit, pain, and the refusal to back down. But not everyone is fighting for survival, some are fighting to change the game entirely. And that's exactly where Rampage Jackson stepped in next. Right when fans thought the chaos had peaked, Quinton "Rampage" Jackson stepped in, and instantly reignited the fire. The former UFC champion took aim at modern fighters, calling out what he sees as a soft generation. Without naming names, he hinted that too many stars care more about Instagram followers than cage dominance. For Rampage, the fight game was built on violence, pride, and presence, not filters and sponsorship deals. He emphasized how today's MMA scene feels more like a media circus than a proving ground, echoing the same frustration many veterans share. His timing couldn't have been better. While Hamdi bled for opportunity, others were building online brands instead of legacies. Rampage's message hit home because it came from someone who lived the war, not the algorithm. But as the MMA world digested his words, one man's entrance blew the roof off: Jon Jones returned, and with him came pure, unpredictable showmanship. Leave it to Jon Jones to turn a fight event into a movie scene. The heavyweight champion showed up on horseback, yes, literally, wearing a black cowboy hat and an eye patch. It wasn't random, it was aimed straight at Tom Aspinall, who'd recently won a fight via controversial stoppage. Jones's message was clear: he's mocking the interim champ and reclaiming the spotlight. Fans exploded online, memes, reactions, debates, calling it the most Jon Jones entrance ever. But behind the trolling was a deeper play. Jones wasn't just clowning around, he was reminding the UFC audience who truly runs the show. With Pereira flexing online dominance and legends like Glover and Rampage firing shots, Jones's theatrical move proved one thing: in this circus of chaos, he's still the ringmaster. Next up, chaos turns personal. Jon Jones's wild entrance wasn't just a stunt, it opened the floodgates for pure rivalry. Fighters started calling each other out left and right, and the competitive spirit turned into straight-up personal warfare. The tension between Tom Aspinall and Jones hit boiling point, as Aspinall fired back online, claiming he's ready to end the legacy talk, once and for all. Fans took sides instantly: Team Jones for the legend, Team Aspinall for the hungry new era. Meanwhile, fighters from other divisions joined the chaos, feeding off the spotlight. Every post, every press comment became ammunition. The UFC wasn't just promoting fights anymore, it was feeding drama. The new fight culture had arrived, loud, unpredictable, and personal. But while social media wars burned hot, another story was building, one that showed the UFC's future may not even lie in the octagon. Behind the chaos, a quieter power shift was taking place. Fighters like Alex Pereira, Conor McGregor, and Sean O'Malley are proving that the fight game isn't just about knockouts anymore, it's about ownership and branding. The biggest names are turning into businessmen, negotiating their own deals, and profiting directly from their image. Dana White himself has admitted the sport is evolving: paydays, sponsors, and global influence now shape careers more than win streaks. Jon Jones's flashy return, Pereira's DM leaks, even Rampage's criticism, they all point to the same reality: fighting has become entertainment business. The UFC is no longer just about who's the toughest, it's about who controls the spotlight. And as the noise grows louder, one final twist is coming: a confrontation that could redefine what it means to be a fighter in this era. With money and fame now driving the fight game, a major shift is underway. Fighters are no longer waiting for promoters to decide their fate, they're taking control. Francis Ngannou started it when he walked away from the UFC to secure his own $1 million boxing deal, proving independence pays. Now others are following. From Dustin Poirier launching his own hot sauce empire to Sean O'Malley leveraging YouTube and merch sales, the message is clear: fighters want ownership, not just contracts. But this evolution is splitting the MMA world in two. Old-school legends like Rampage Jackson warn it's killing the warrior spirit, while newer fighters argue it's about finally getting paid what they deserve. The cage is no longer the only battlefield, it's now the negotiation table, too. And as this power struggle grows, the sport stands at a crossroads, between pure combat and controlled chaos. This is no longer the UFC we once knew. What started as blood, sweat, and legacy has evolved into a global spectacle, where every fighter is also a brand, every fight a storyline. The new era of MMA isn't defined by titles alone but by influence. Pereira controls narratives online. Jon Jones turns entrances into events. Aspinall represents the next generation fighting for legitimacy. It's brutal, unpredictable, and fascinating. The sport has become entertainment, but still, beneath the glitz, the core remains, warriors risking everything for glory. Fans may argue over who's real or fake, who's chasing clout or greatness, but one truth stands: MMA has never been this alive. Like, share, and subscribe, because this fight world is only getting wilder from here.